Hello again, everybody. It is the coach. You're tuned in to Madden 19 on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what should be an intriguing matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans. With that, let's head over to the space city of Houston. Standing by at NRG Stadium, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans. Hi again, everyone. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at this Texan ball club entering play here. And I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They pass the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
Meanwhile, for the Browns here, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. Leading them out is their quarterback, the former 12th overall pick. Some refer to him as the natural, Deshaun Watson.
Tremendous overall athlete, does everything that you're looking for. Big time in the quarterback run game against their better opponents, but can also operate skillfully from the pocket and can beat you with his mind as well.
They go play action here on first down. They'll roll him out right. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
I think we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
On the ground, this is Lamar Miller. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. You often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
Watson now to throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
Holding offense.
So that one a hold.
Still second down.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that can be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
After the penalty, it's Miller. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. Brought down that time by Christian Kirksey.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. And it's a terrific return here as he's going to have them set up with a 1st and goal right at about the 6-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. Mayfield, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Odell Beckham from 6 yards away. And the Browns have taken the early lead. Here's Chandler Catanzaro for the extra point.
Great field position has to be one of the best friends an offense can have. When you don't have very far to go, you should cash it in with points.
Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And that makes the score 7-0. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And the return comes to a halt right at the 44-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Now a play fake here on first down. Sliding up, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Like the footwork back there. I thought he did a pretty good job of evading that first wave of players. Tried to buy a little extra time out of the pocket, but in the end, oh, that was a tough one.
Yeah, it winds up getting buried for the loss. And bringing it in right side here, Beckham. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Give him 30 yards there.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Here's Mayfield. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. Mayfield on play action. Landry brushes him off. This is caught. A good pickup there, a 22.
That was an excellent read right there. Saw cover one. That means it's just a single high safety. So you know if you throw the ball to the outside part of the field, help is going to be a little bit late getting there, and he puts one out there for a big-time completion.
And he's going to go down. This will count as a sack, a very short sack. Taken down at the 2. Tyrone Crawford able to get in there and drop him behind the line. Mayfield down. And this is caught. Touchdown, Cleveland. Jarvis Landry, his first touchdown as a Cleveland Brown. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in there. He got it done.
And when you're able to complete one like that, your confidence has to just go sky high. You just mentioned it. Tight window, zings it in there despite excellent coverage. Result, touchdown.
This fielded at the 2. And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Houston. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. On first down, it's Watson. Looking middle, and it's incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
To throw is Watson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets them up better for third down.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. He'll buy some time right. He may try and run for this. And he's got the first down before being taken down at the 46. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second in just about a few inches here. Well, you're down early. How do you get back in the game? Maybe establish the run. I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive...
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Olivier Vernon in there for sack number 85 of his great career, moving him past Hall of Famer Howie Long on the all-time list.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get up.
Under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Heading out is the Cleveland offense now as they get set to take over here. And right now they're saying, hey, let's keep this going. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, can't ask for a better start than that, can you? I mean, this is the way you practice it. This is the way you rehearse it. But right now, the play calling, they're locked in really well.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They go play action. Mayfield dumps this to his running back, Chubb. He's got daylight. He's at the 40, the 20, and all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Nick Chubb, 78 yards, and the Browns add on to their lead. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy who can run it and catch it. And we just saw him complete a big-time play for a touchdown.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Getting set to go again, DeAndre Hopkins marches back onto the field. You better believe that he's well aware he has 0 catches right now, and they're losing, so he's probably a little hungry.
And you know the guys on defense are aware as well, and they're really excited he has no catches, but they're also worried because a lot of times that's like the ticking time bomb. The longer you hold him down, when he finally explodes, look out.
Yeah, no catches, though, so far in this game. First play of the drive going for 14 and also going for a 1st down.
I think the last two plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those two that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better, got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. The Texans on third down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 4. From the gun, here's Watson. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll get nothing out of that one. The completion there winds up a wash, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats. Throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still,
no
yardage. Okay.
There's Baker Mayfield as he and the Browns offense comes back out. And how about the start so far, Charles? 3 first-half touchdown passes.
And that's how you generate excitement on a team.
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Jadeveon Clowney in there to make the sack. He buries him for a loss of 10. Play fake. Mayfield. Open receiver, that's David Njoku. A good pickup there, a 22.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. And he'll get this up to about the 38-yard line. Jadeveon Clowney there on the stop.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
To throw, Mayfield. And he's got his man on the crossing route. That's Landry. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. 23 yards on the play.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space to happen, and it turned into a really nice play.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On first down, they'll run with Chubb. Dropped at the 35, but he was able to display the agility there. Benardrick McKinney there to make the stop.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half in some of these shorter games.
And all the way in, touchdown, Cleveland. Odell Beckham, already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
Extra point good by Catanzaro. And the route is on here in this first half. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. DeAndre Hopkins and the rest of the offense heading back onto the field. A chance maybe here for them to get him more involved. They're down here on the scoreboard, and he's been very quiet.
And the silence has been deafening for his team. They don't need that at all. They need fireworks. They need explosive plays. They need him touching the football in any way possible. Maybe go to some jet sweeps. Anything to get him going.
Yeah, something to get in the ball. We'll see if they can do it.
Hey, who waiting?
On 1st and 10, Watson. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete. So beginning of the drive, you were talking about eating some clock, really using up maybe not the time consumption they were hoping for, but they got into the end zone.
Yeah, and if you're going to really grade them strictly, they didn't do what they wanted, right? That so-called 4-minute offense and take some time off. But who cares? They put the ball in the end zone. That does not matter. They got what they needed.
Olivier Vernon brings him down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Dumps it complete to Miller. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 1:59 to go in the first half. We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Oh, now he bowls him over. Breaks the tackle. He's got room to run. Jarvis Landry, 20, 10, 5, and he'll score. Touchdown, Browns. Jarvis Landry, 84 yards. And the Browns continue to roll.
Well, it certainly feels like that kind of game, doesn't it? No matter what they do, it's going to work. That might be the absolute crusher right there. A punt return for a touchdown.
Feels like there's been a lot of crushers in this game. This lead just gets bigger. Extra point up and good by Catanzaro. And a rout is on here in this first half. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal, because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards. Watson on 1st down. Throwing over the middle, and it's incomplete.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he'll work it across midfield inside the 45. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a 1st down. Now Watson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. Nifty move. Fights through, and now a crease.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. And they will take a knee here. And with time running down, they go down to a knee. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome back to football, everybody. We've got a full slate of 16 games here to start the new season. So let's take our first trip around the NFL. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. In the game you're watching, it's been Baker Mayfield with a strong first half. He's thrown for over 200 yards already, and his guys have the lead as well. As we get you back to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. This will be fielded at the 8. And an excellent return there as he's up to the 35 and make it the 40-yard line.
Now, that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get it to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
Here's the Browns offense now getting set to start off this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we...
Well, this is taken in. It's complete. A really nice gain of 25 yards. And he's certainly been a huge factor in this when he's got the 2 touchdowns to his credit. Now they look to him again. He picks up the first.
Yeah, I can hear everyone saying, well, why don't you cover him, double him, triple him, do what you have to do. But sometimes they get locked into such a groove and such a connection, it doesn't matter how many guys are in his area.
He certainly looks to be in that groove right now. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. 23 yards on the play.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Yeah, he was looking for the check-up bounce, didn't get it. That scoots all the way into the end zone now for a touchback. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Green the line! Green the line!
They'll start out on the ground. It's Lamar Miller. Oh, good footwork on the spin. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Coming in, he really liked his chance of having a big year based on a terrific offseason. And runs like that on opening weekend show that he's right.
They keep it with Miller on 1st down. And he's going to bowl his way forward to the 48. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Here's Watson now on 2nd down. And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
And there's a good opportunity. Just went awry there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
Down! Move ready!
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson. And this is caught off a deflection. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains.
Sometimes it pays to be lucky rather than good. That was not even the intended receiver on that pass.
But still able to haul it in for the reception. And he's going to have the hook up to QT. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
The completion on first didn't get much, and now the run on second doesn't get a whole lot either.
Well, if you're a good play caller, you've already looked ahead and anticipated this type of situation. Already down on his play sheet, trying to dial up a big third down play.
From the gun on third, Watson. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So apparently some grabbing in the jersey there on the O-line.
Yeah, just working the interior, and that's where the penalty occurred.
And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. Third and long. A shotgun snap for Watson. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Sometimes it's just not your day. There's another failure right there on third down.
The Texans send the punter out. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. The Browns offense trotting back onto the field. Well, they're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory. Really shouldn't be a surprise. It's going to be hard to move people in this situation. You know they're going to bring the pressure defensively. Because I remember playing in these spots, and my coaches always say, don't be afraid to try and create a safety, too. They're going to bring pressure.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. That one good for 10 yards. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop him. And he is going to have the first down as he's up to his own 13-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line.
He has elite instincts from his linebacker spot. He's able to diagnose the run and flies in like a missile to stop that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A run for Nick Chubb. And not much here as he'll get it to the 11, maybe the 12-yard line. Tyrone Crawford in on the tackle.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. And he gets this away, and look at this. This is a good one. And now out comes Houston. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Successful start to the drive, 17 yards, and moves the sticks.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Back now in Houston. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. On first down, Watson. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. That's just his second catch of the game. They wanted to keep him silent. They have kept him silent.
Defensive football 101. Don't let the best player on offense beat you. Take him out of the game, and they've done a great job of doing that.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going. It's been that kind of a day so far throwing the football. It just seems like nothing going right offensively.
Yeah, it's a catch that should have been made, pure and simple. And look, everything else that goes into running a good pass route, throw it all out if you don't catch the ball.
Been that kind of game throwing the football so far. Nothing going right offensively.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at the 45. On 1st and 10, Mayfield. And his throw here's incomplete. He was looking for Landry that time, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
The positioning here is key. As a defensive back, you're taught 99% of the time, make a play on the football. But in this case, making a play on the man was all the difference. That's what forced the incompletion.
Escaping, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Bernardrick McKinney in there to get him for a loss of a yard, and it'll bring up 3rd down. Mayfield off the play fake. Going right side here, and that's complete. And down inside the 10 at the 9. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And now out comes Houston. Now a 1st down throw, Watson. And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Myles Garrett in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling him almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. Give him 17 on the pickup there, and the Texans also get a new set of downs.
But sometimes, Brandon, there's just not a secret to how things get done. He's been running well all game long, and they continue to rely on him in this key situation.
They told us they were going to rely on him. They have. He comes through there, a big third down conversion. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
To throw is Watson. To throw on 3rd down. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
We've seen this quite a few times in this game. Offensive line unable to keep leverage, unable to keep people away, facing a lot of pressure. Fortunate just to get rid of it.
One of the reasons they're down is that inability, though, to stop the pressure. We saw another example of it there. And this one is no good. He missed it. And this score will stay right where it is. So 2 missed field goals for him now, and that's helped keep them with a big 0 on the scoreboard.
Well, it's not the only reason they have a 0. The offense has been bogged down a few times now, but it's certainly not helping the cause any at all.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb, and he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Carlos Watkins in there for the stop.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. And that little deke, the juke move that we saw, able to give him the 1st down yardage before he's brought down. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. Handoff comes to Chubb. And he's going to get this inside the 30. That'll move the sticks for the Browns. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the 1st half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
And partner, this